you know, there's a whole lot of you know, dating coaches out there that pander to women. You know, there's like a big thing where you know, these guys out there, they sort of just tell women what they want to hear. You feel what I'm saying? They sort of take that Steve Harvey approach. You know, and it annoys me. It annoys the shit out of me, especially because, you know, these dudes, they know what the fuck they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're out here, they're telling these chicks what they want to hear. They're not telling them the truth, because if they told them the truth, they wouldn't make that much money. You understand what I'm saying? So the way that you do it, you know, they deceive these ladies. What they do is they tell the ladies, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. Everything about you is awesome. It's just these men. It's just the men. It has nothing to do with you. There's nothing you need to improve on. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. It's the men, right? Because the thing is that when you tell a chick, hey, you know, you got to take personal responsibility sometimes, they don't want to hear that. Then they'll call you misogynist, they'll say you're crazy, all this other stuff, right? Now, there are situations where a chick will get into where she's dealing with the guy, and the guy is on some bullshit. I'm not saying dudes aren't on bullshit, but you got a lot of these coaches, especially you got a lot of these, you know, it's like these, I don't even know what to call them. Like, it's like these dudes who just go out there and they say all this nonsense to these women, and they eat it the fuck up. And I know why they do it too, because that's how they get money. That's their hustle. You understand? But see, the thing is, I can't, you know, me personally, I can't fucking do it. I just can't, in good conscience, I cannot sit there and lie to these women, you know, just to make paper. I don't know, like, to me, because at the end of the day, they're still gonna be all single and lonely and even more bitter, you know, than when they came in. You understand? And then the thing is, a person like me, who's, you know, being honest and shit and all of that, they look at me like I'm the fucking crazy guy. You understand? Because I got a book called It's Your Fault You're Single, Tips on Finding Mr. Right. And, you know, by me saying, oh, it's your fault, they look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like, how dare you say it's our fault? You understand? But the thing is, I'm saying that it's your fault because all I'm saying is that you actually have the power to make shit go the way you want it to go, or to not be in this fucked up relationship instead of just blaming other people. See, that's the thing in life. We want to always point the finger at everybody else. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing though? There got to be something you are also doing to stop yourself from getting what you want to get. You understand? And, you know, you got these dudes out here that's just, they just straight telling these chicks bullshit. And I'm just like, yo, and the thing is that these women, they fucking eat the shit the fuck up. You understand? And it's like when a dude like me says some real shit, they'll call me the misogynist. They'll call me the woman hater. But who's really hating these women? Who's the ones that's actually causing damage by spreading this misinformation to these women? It's these other dudes out here that's talking all that nonsense, you know. And I notice I see a lot of black dudes, you know, these black dating coaches who specifically focus on women, you know, telling them, you know, all this garbage, and they just eat it up. And I'm like, damn, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, you know, the smart women, they see what's really going on. You feel what I'm saying? But the chicks who are sort of, you know, susceptible to the game that these dudes is pulling on them, you know, they're the ones who's gonna really you know, catch it in the end. You understand? They're the ones who's gonna, like, at the end of the day, see like, damn, this shit he was talking wasn't working. And the reason why it wasn't working was because he never said anything about you as a woman taking personal responsibility. You understand? Because if you, let's say you got some chick who is just, let's just say she's sloppy. You understand? Like, physically she's sloppy. And these guys are like, no, girl, it ain't nothing you doing wrong. It's the men. It's these men. They're not you know, strong enough to deal with a woman like you. You understand what I'm saying? And then it's like, no, that's not it. It's, you are spreading these lies. You're not telling her, hey, listen, you're kind of sloppy. You understand? You got a little bit of an attitude. You need to fix that shit. But they don't want to say that because that's gonna make their pocket slim. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, and it's like, I see this, and I know this. See, I get a lot of chicks who send me, you know, emails for advice, and it's more of the chicks who are aware. Like the smart chicks, the smart aware chicks, they understand, so they holler at me. You feel what I'm saying? But there's so many other chicks out here who are so fucking gullible, it's sad. it's sad. And then you got these dudes out here basically taking advantage of this shit. They know who they are. I ain't gotta say nobody's names. You feel what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. Dudes being simps, manginas, Captain Save-A-Hoes, guys, you know, fucking, you know, just they're just out here trying to pander to women and in hopes that they can get sex and all this other stuff. You gotta understand something. A lot of these dudes, you know, they have low self-esteem. They don't really know how to attract women. They don't know how to you know, make these things go down. You know, a lot of manginas, Captain Save-A-Hoes sort of like agree with everything women say. They, you know, they'll look down their nose upon a guy who, you know, is just like either a regular dude who's just getting chicks, or, you know, a real like alpha male type of guy, you could say. They look at them and they're hating on that guy because they don't understand. They just like, how come he's getting the women? How come, you know, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm doing all the shit she's saying, how come he's getting her? But see, these dudes, if they had any type of game or awareness, they would study the dudes who are getting the women and see what they are doing, instead of staying in the friend zone, you know, being like a fucking, you know, simp. You know, instead of doing that, lay back, peep game, and apply it to you. Like, that's the shit I don't get. I'm like, why would these guys sort of just like get mad at motherfuckers and then, you know, or hate on them, or, you know, or whatever. Like, if you see that these dudes is making shit happen, then you figure out a way to make it happen. Learn from what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? And this goes with, like, you know, being good at game and being good with attractive women. Dudes always ask me all the time. They're like, yo, what do you do to become good? It's just like anything else you do to become good. You study, you practice, you put yourself in the situations in order to, you know, develop your skills in order to make that happen. But see, the sad part is, a lot of people who have a loser mentality, they're always just looking for excuses as to why they're not getting it, and they're looking at everybody else and saying, oh, well, you know what, he's getting it because he's good looking. You know, the only reason he's getting it is because he has a lot of money. And that's just the excuses that they give themselves. They don't realize that there's so many people who are not that good looking, so many guys who are not that good looking, so many guys who don't really got that much money. They probably got regular 9-to-5 jobs, or, you know, even dudes who don't got jobs still, you know, they get chicks. So how are they doing it and you're not able to do it? You understand? But they never want to look at that. It's like, yo, you have to put forth the effort it takes to really go out there and make what you want to make happen. You feel what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's real, you know, interesting how, even though there is evidence of these things going on, where, you know, guys will be like, oh, it's all about looks, but then you end up seeing a guy here, a guy there, a guy there who's not that good looking with chicks, but then they'll be like, oh, it's because he has money. But then you see a guy here, a guy here, a guy here who doesn't have money, who has a hot chick. So all the excuses you're coming up with, right? They still, you know, it's like shit is still going on, but it's like they fucking want to ignore that it's actually going on. You know what I'm saying? And then they just, you know, use those excuses so that they have something to hold on to, so that they don't need to really, you know, work on themselves and make stuff happen. You understand? People, they get it confused. They confuse happiness with fun or excitement. You know, fun and excitement is fun and excitement. It's not happiness. Because if you look at that as happiness, when you're no longer having fun, or when you're no longer, you know, excited, then you have to be sad, right? Because you're basing happiness upon the fun and excitement, right? Now, you can have that, you'll have that feeling, that temporary feeling when you're having the fun, but it's not really happiness. And the thing with happiness is hard to explain, because, you know, it's easier to explain what happiness isn't versus what happiness is. You know, it's weird, because, you know, we've been taught in society that happiness is like the you know, you have to pursue it. Its happiness is somewhere else. You got to go and pursue this happiness, and then you're gonna finally get it one day. You understand? But it's like, no, like what is that? Makes no fucking sense. Like, you know, if you're an actual happy person, you know, the way I see it is a sort of like state of being, a state of consistent being. So basically, like, even if something fucked up happened, you know, you can sort of still be a generally happy person no matter what's happening to you, even if it's fucked up. You understand? So you're not basing your happiness upon outside factors. You're basing it on how you sort of view life and look at life. You understand? You're not so attached to things so that when those things go away, you're unhappy. You understand? So like, let's say if you get something, you're like, okay, I got it, and that's cool, but if I don't have it anymore, I'm still cool. It doesn't really matter if I have it or not, I'm still gonna be all right. But people are like, I have it and I'm happy, and then when I don't have it, I'm sad. You understand? And then that's when you're basing your happiness on outside things. And then it's like, is that really happiness? You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's happiness. You feel what I mean? And I suggest, guys, go to YouTube and Google Anthony DeMello. I always talk about this guy. This guy spits the game when it comes to happiness and all that shit. Anthony DeMello. Make sure you look him up. You feel me? You know, another thing I want to, you know, I think a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, your ego and how you identify yourself or how you attach yourself to certain things, it sort of fucks with how you maneuver in life. So meaning, like, let's say for example, you know, like for me, I call myself the bad boy of the dating game, right? Like before I was doing this, I used to rap. You understand? Like I was a rap artist named Trends, right? And you know, I still, you know, dabble in it just for fun or whatever. But I'm technically, you wouldn't call me a rapper. I wouldn't say I'm a rapper, right? But right now I'm coaching, you know, as far as relationships and everything, right? So what happened is that people usually attach who they are, their identity, to what they're doing. Do you understand? What you do is not who you are. Because let's say I just say, you know, I'm gonna quit coaching people. I'm not gonna do coaching anymore for dating. So am I still the bad boy of the dating game if I'm not coaching? You understand? Or how would that make me feel not doing that? Would I be lost? Would I feel lost? Would I not know who I am? You understand? Because tomorrow I could be like, oh, I'm going to do something else. So what I do can change at any moment. But that's not who I am inside. Who I am is it's complex. The same thing, who you are is complex. It's not just about what you're doing. So when you become a doctor, or you are a lawyer, or you're a singer or an actor or a painter or whatever, all these labels, if you identify with that, that is, you know, and then let's say you stop doing that, or you can't do those things you're doing anymore, you'll feel lost because you feel like that is who you are, and you don't want to, you know, ruin your identity. You feel what I'm saying? You don't want to ruin, you know, that thing that you think makes you you. Because since you identify with that, you sort of want to be continuous, I guess I should say, with who that person is, or who you think that is in relation to you. You understand? This is why even sometimes your ideas, you know, you'll try to defend this. This is why it's hard for certain people to grow, because you also identify with your ideas. You identify with what you believe. So if I say something that attacks your belief or makes you, you know, question your belief, you don't want to hear what I'm saying, because you attach your belief to who you are. So if you don't believe this, who are you? If you're a Christian, or, you know, some other religion or something, and somebody says something that makes you question your religion, you don't want to hear it, because if you question, you might start to think, and then you might change your mind of how you believe this shit. And then you're gonna be like, who the fuck am I now? I thought I was a Christian. I'm so lost. And you know, that happens when you identify with shit, when you live your life and basically identifying with things. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, if you identify with all these things, you know, it doesn't give you room to actually grow and learn, because you're always putting yourself in this box to make sure that you keep your identity, you know, your identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, you know? You know, I had a dude hit me up the other day, and he asked me about like making money and, you know, being successful and making money in the entrepreneurial sense, like doing your own thing. Because he's like, yo, Mr. Locario, you know, I see you doing your thing. You know, how can I get like you? How can I make this happen? And, you know, let me be extremely honest with you guys, right? So the success that I've had doing, you know, what I'm doing as far as coaching, you know, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. But this is not all I'm doing, you know, because, you know, I'm still getting to the point where I need it to be. You understand? So I'm saying that to say this is that if you know, actually want to be successful, and, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, you know, you're trying to start your own business or whatever, you have to understand that this is a fucking crazy process you got to go through, man. Like, you have to, you know, it's sleepless nights. It's working harder than you've ever worked in your fucking life. You know, it's you know, so much work, and at first you're gonna see a little bit of return on your work, but as long as you keep it going, you'll start to see it growing a little bit more and more. But it's a lot of fucking work. You understand? And in order for you to really succeed, you have to start off understanding that. Like, go into it understanding that that's what you're going to have to deal with. See, I think a lot of times, you know, and like you know, we sort of like look at like the glamorous shit. You understand? We talk about the you know, everything that's working, but we don't focus enough on the stuff that didn't work, or the stuff that, you know, didn't go the way it needed to go. Not saying you want to focus too much on that, but that also needs to be said. You understand? And the reason why I'm saying it needs to be said is because I think when it comes to business or success or whatever, you know, we've sort of like marketed it as like, you know, we market success as if, or making a lot of money, whatever you want to call it. We've marketed that as it being something simple, like, oh, you know, it's nothing, like, you know, just start your own business and you don't gotta work for nobody, you know, and that's good. But what does that mean? How much work am I actually gonna have to put in? You know, if someone is successful, if someone's, you know, started their own business and made it to the point where they're running their own business, and let's say they're even a millionaire at this point, how long did it take you to become a millionaire? How many times did you fail at doing what you were doing before you started to succeed? What, you know, were the setbacks? You understand it? And the reason why I'm saying this is because there's somebody looking at that millionaire or looking at that person and saying, oh, I want to be just like him. But that person, when they're talking to him, that person that's the millionaire, they're like, yeah, you know, I just started this ice cream company, and then now, you know, I'm a millionaire 5 years later. And it's just like, okay, but what did you have to do? Did you get any help? What happened with the, you know, how'd you get the money to start this or whatever? Like, we don't talk about that. We're in a culture where, you know, we try to market everything as super easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you listen to rappers and Jay-Z talking about, oh, you know, I don't even write rhymes. They just come all out of my head and all that other stuff. It's nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like what are you doing to actually, what's happening from point A to point Z for you to achieve the success that you've gotten? You understand? And I'm saying from personal experience, you know, if anybody who follows me, they know how hard I work, where it's like, it's an everyday fucking thing. You understand? Where I'm blogging every day, making videos, writing, different things about relationships, all these things that it's a continuous thing. There's times where, I'm getting maybe 2-3 hours of sleep, times where I just didn't have time to eat because I was working. It's so many of these different things. And, and it's myself, my dude Miles Cunningham, we work together to make this happen. And my girl, she helped me edit some of my books and everything like that. And it's still a struggle. It's still something you have to continuously do. Like, I'm not at the place where, like, I want to be yet. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not. You know what I mean? And it's like, I want to, I want to get it all the way up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, but I'm on my way there. And this is why, and the reason why I'm saying this is because, I know there's other cats out there that's doing their thing, and I'm just saying, just keep doing your thing, but understand that it's going to be something that, you have to really keep working on. It's going to be a struggle. It's not going to be something like super easy. Anybody, any of these people you see out here making it and doing all this other stuff, they had to go through a lot of shit to, get to the point where they're at. I don't want you guys out here thinking that, you're just going to wake up tomorrow, start a business, and by next Friday, you're going to be a millionaire. It doesn't work that way. And the way that, again, success has been marketed, it's been marketed like, oh, it's just this super easy thing. And all you do is just, put it in the microwave, 2 minutes, and success pops out. And it's like, no, bro, it's not going down like that. You understand? And I even try to explain this, when I talk about dating. A lot of dudes, they think, oh, it's just, just give me some pickup lines so I could get that girl. And I'm just like, dude, if you coming at the game like that, you're not gonna have success. Same thing where I talk to even ladies about, where it's like women, a reason why a lot of women don't get what they want in the dating game is because some of them actually think that just being, a woman and existing entitles them to a man. You understand? And it's like they feel like they don't have to do any work to, keep the man around, because women get guys approaching them, talking to them, hollering at them and all that, trying to have sex with them. But, women have a hard time keeping guys around. So that's their issue. But the thing is that they have to, work hard at maintaining that thing. So anytime you're trying to have success with anything, you have to fucking work at it. You understand? And it's not as easy as you think. But if you come at it understanding that concept or understanding that fact, then you'll be better off. Why? Because if you think it's super easy and you try it and it doesn't work the first time, you're going to be like, okay, well, since I know it's not easy, I'm going to keep it going. But if you think it's super easy and it didn't work the first time, you just think, oh, well, I'm a failure, so I just failed. You understand? So if you want that success, if you want that money, if you want shit to pop, you have to understand that it's going to be a lot of work. You feel me?